the air at the stop, thrown up by the cars or either on the Bourbon or Ballon. Tom Horsby says that it's worth noting that Phil Keane's fastest lap is 3/10 under the existing lap record set by Nicotine. So when you go 3/10 of a second with Nicotine, you do something.
Yeah, I'd say that'll be noticed by Nicotine. Honestly, genuinely, it matters. These guys are trying to live in this. You're only as good as your last race. Put the pressure on these guys to perform. And we can. So, you see the whole car bounce around on the exit there. It flipped off the curb. Look, I guess he's got feeling in his mirrors, doesn't he? I feel he's catching it.
Yeah, now this is, I know that they're really trying to this is on a stellar performance. It's been from the Audi team because I might have done. Because this car is only in its second appearance ever in the championship. It's new to the team. They don't have that much mileage under their belt. He is catching Ollie Wilkinson. The Audi could lead this race before too much longer. Yes, the pit stops have helped, but that won't matter to them, will it?
I can't take you seriously after that Stella Motorsport, of course, which run the Audi.
Revs starting to rise. This field a great place to start. For the pilot on a beautiful Sunday. Championship Series. Will it be Holden? Will it be Ford?
You can find really good.
5 final goes in the top 10. Haven't had these two manufacturers as evenly matched as this for a long time. And look at that magnificent side from our cherry picker.
It gets the headlines. The guys out
Waiting for the lights. It was a relatively clean start, and he's made the cleanest start as Mark Scape. He's already opened the gap 2 or 3 car lengths over his teammate Marcus Ambrose, who's in third. Ranisic in fourth. Big field muscle their way around MG.
Not necessarily in the way that
This is
28 laps,
so
and it has
this
is a different tyre. The tyre that the team's raced on here last year. We've mentioned it a couple of times already, but it's different significant for teams that don't test here. The whole racing team tested.
Look, I'll tell you what we'll do. Anyone in the team...
Courage and supreme skill to succeed at Bathurst. The desire to win must be greater than the fear of losing. This is the 2020 Superteam World. Who drops into position over Davison. The London holds sway as they make their run up Mountain Straight for the first time, and somebody had trouble on the grid, but they did. You can see the flags there. It looked like they were going to score. Couldn't quite pick your lines, but a very nice getaway for Scott McLaughlin. Just weaving it now as he comes up the hill to get some tyre temperature. This is a really difficult corner on the opening lap because you arrive so fast, the tyres are cold, and you've got to give it a healthy level of respect. Nice conditions out there at the moment, Mark. The temperature's 16 degrees. It's a light breeze from the southwest as we make the cold tyre run through turn 3, the blind approach into the cutting. We've seen people make dives on the inside here in years gone by, and it typically ends poorly in the opening lap. McLaughlin's got a margin at the moment. It's 1/3 of a second over Will Davison. Anton Di Pasquale in third. Tander's got away nicely in car 97 for Red Bull.
On the minimum pit stop time. But we also have a counter in the car, and the two sometimes conflict.
Right, okay, well, yeah, it is tricky, and a lot of that decision often comes down to the driver, but they're not necessarily in the right position to make the call. This is the 57th the stop goes, so this is for his second final stint in the race. The championship depending on how it looks like it's going to work quite well. The most frustrating thing, you trundle down the pit lane, it seems to take forever, and then you stop for a second, and they say, right, up you go.
Yeah, it's the most frustrating thing you can experience. It really genuinely is. I think we're going to go and talk to Brennan. He's talking to the guys from Bentley to find out what went on.
Causing problems up there in the commentary. I've been chatting to the Team Parker Racing guys, and Scott Morgan got out the car, and he said to me, well, he didn't know what the problem was, some engine problem along the way, losing power. They pulled the car into the garage and they've been pouring over it for the last 5 minutes or so, and it seems to be an electrical problem. They've been chipping away at the wires, and I'm not sure if the car's going to get back out on track. Scott Morgan doesn't seem too sure.
Do you know, Graham, whenever I hear the words, it's an electrical problem, my heart sinks, because they are the hardest problems to diagnose. Once you diagnose them, it's a pretty quick thing.
It's not a quick fix.
No.
You know, it is faster. These warnings are so the worst thing you can hear is its electric problem. We're talking about some cars have a mile of pavement and you've got to find a problem.
26 man for a reaction, so that is the team car and the ultimate. They did get to the bottom of what the incident in question was, but it clearly wasn't that significant. Now the battle for the lead is getting very tasty now, as Ollie Wilkinson is held up in traffic there. The 58 HHC McLaren getting in the way, and Sennett Fielding thought he saw his chance to get on the side. Now you'd think that Sennett's here on the radio here too, saying that you don't
So no wonder Ollie's fighting it so hard. The bloke wants to stay in front.
Right, okay, there we go. So apologies for that. Then the information we were given said that there was a penalty for 96. There is no penalty. This is a great test. So this is getting particularly tasty, since Jack Mitchell is also taking time out of them as well. Jack Mitchell in the 2C's car, number 10, in third position, is only 1.3 seconds off the lead. So the top three covered by 1.3 seconds, and his teammate he's just behind him. Traffic has Warren Hughes and the GT4 leader Matt Cowley, who are rather holding up the overall race leader. Again, not much that Cowley can do about that really. Fielding with a good exit there from Dean Donald is in to head back over to Angus Fender for the second time in this race. What is going on track? It's still the McLaren in front, but Sennett Fielding, a bit of damage there to the front left corner. Again, that's just superficial, but the deeper we get into the race, the more intensity, the higher that intensity level gets, the more anxious drivers are to get stuck in, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this really close quarters racing going into the final lap.
Yeah, on occasion, the passenger mirror, the right-hand mirror on Wilkinson's car, is a radar camera facing back with lights that tell us if someone's getting closer. It's like a disco in there. So
yeah, that's a good point. As in comes Sennett Fielding. I was about the very next question I was going to ask you is, do you
they've done the right thing, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, by the way, Sam Meary to hand over to his dad Richard, so this is now the second wave of second pit stops. The alley there was a bit tricky getting in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult. You know, it goes against every grain in your body. When I've had to come in, you have to go in slower, but your brain thinks, stop, go, wait. Because really, just if you manoeuvre the car like you are in a multi-story car park, you'll lose maybe So it's a cool head that it's always a better approach.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have that minimum pit stop time, you kind of don't have to rush, but that again is easier said than done in the heat of battle. So now Ollie Wilkinson can breathe for a second, but not for that much longer, because Jack Mitchell is now closing in again. But of course, he has made his second pit stop already, so he is not in direct competition with these cars, but he will be essentially in competition with them by the end of the race. And as we move towards that final set of pit stops, we also have to start thinking about success penalties. And that number 2 car does have the 15-second success penalty, easy for me to say, to serve when we get to the final set of stops. Jack Mitchell, so number 10 is coming in from second place, so Ollie Wilkinson now can
slow, but he isn't the fastest. So when people are catching him, the team are intelligent.
well. He's a very experienced club racer, and he and the Tagiwa squad are pretty well known actually in UK motor racing. So he and David Whitmore are both out. They should be able to push that out of the way, surely.
I don't think there's an entry there. I don't know. Funny enough, I've never pulled over that part of the track. I don't think there's a dangerous position. I tell you what, the team principals are doing right now. In that part, so they can see if it will trigger a safety car.
Yeah, let's just not show it so we keep the suspense. No, there is an end that you can get into the pit lane now. Okay. What I can't remember off the top of my head is if there's a gate at the end of that path, but it doesn't really matter. As long as they get it out of the way, it should be okay. It's downhill as well, so the marshals ought to be able to get it out of the way. But again, this is a decision that has to be reasonably like to let the race play out if he can. A safety car will only get thrown if it is the safest course of action. And he will, I'm sure, driver to the end, so you would kind of be stuck. And this is the gamble you take. If you do take that early pit stop that we saw Barwell and TF Squad take, you're kind of hedging your bets then that you won't get another safety car deep in the race. You can't, because you've now tied yourself to that struggle.
Look, it's so difficult. You're trying to get the maximum time out of your fastest driver. You're going looking for safety cars, hoping they'll come at the same time. I'll never recover the car, that's good. It's a very difficult balance. I'm just watching Fowler. Every time. In clean air, Adam is quick. He loses, I mentioned it earlier, so much time in traffic. He's losing 1 to 2 seconds every lap. Just have a look at GC4 cars. That is the difference. That could be or wins this race or loses this race. It's really good. What is he? 1 minute 3 seconds behind. The minimum pit stop is Andy
110 seconds.
10 seconds. So he is technically in the lead.
110 from memory of what the minimum pit stop is.
You're right. I think it's the trick question.
Thanks, Graham. I can't wait to have that. We'll come back out with the race lead. Carl Osborne, by the way, is third place though. We'll say some nice things about Jones. Back out for his second appearance of the season in third position. And the was another pit stop, but they will be happy to see that car running in a podium place. Right, with news of Rob Collard and hopefully able to shed some light on the Barwell strategy, let's head back down to the pit lane to bring.
Yes, strategy is a question. He was going to be out and sitting in the garage for quite some time. But Sandy Mitchell had a valve come loose front right, so we had a very slow puncture. And they decided to make use of the pit stop and get Rob back into the car to complete his time. So rather than trying to pit stop away, they thought they had to make use of it. So don't just
thank you, mate. That's really easy. We have no idea about that. So why the teams love this format, where you have freedom of pit stops. In a normal race, that would have been game over, because that would have been an extra pit stop that you didn't need to take. They can count that now, as long as they work on driver timings, they can now count that as a mandatory stop. I also wonder though, because they were one of the first to come in and make that early second stop, did that maybe trigger the teams? Maybe we should be too. Actually, it would never work.
Know it better than anyone, and the team is very well respected. So when they do something a bit odd, I'm afraid the other teams do say that maybe we should. Did they know?
So had a couple of miraculous recoveries there. Ran racing with their spin in the first hit, and Carwell dodging a bullet there with a slow puncture. And this car is very much still in contention. They're running down in ninth place at the moment, but as I say, we're still waiting for some of the pit stops to shake hands. They have lost some time out because they're behind the Audi, they're behind Alex Fender, they're behind Samuel, so they're also behind still be for a position inside the top 5.
Yeah, but you say it's with the driver. He made a mistake there onto the straight, got in too hard, had to get out the throttle, lost the rear of the car a little bit. He's putting a risk case here. So look, he's trying hard, but let's be candid. I'm sorry what I'm about to say. He's not what he used to be. He's back with the car. He's getting tired. He wants to have the two. And he didn't get to his mind. So this is about maximum mental strength. And just focus. He knows there's a stake. There's a potentially even a win.
It's a point worth making, I think. And I don't like to bang on about because he's very much trying to try something new here in GTs. But touring car races are 20-25 minutes long. He's been racing in touring cars. Oh, hang on, I've got myself because there's an incident being investigated here between cars 2 and 97, and also that is the number 6 car. Touring car races 20-25 minutes. He's been doing touring car racing for over 20 minutes. Short, 20-minute bursts of adrenaline and energy, and then go sit down for a couple of hours and wait for the next race to start. Before that, he had years of short nearly an hour and a half in the car in the heat and getting into now as well, which the afternoon wears on. That will take a toll on anyone if it's not what you're used to.
It's so true. I started in endurance cars. I was doing 2 to 3 hour races, and I got to my first sprint race on occasion. I was just getting into the strike, and someone put the check flag out, and it took me a long time to recover. When I came back to endurance racing, it was the most natural thing I could do. So, it's natural to remember. We're watching movement here.
They're not racing wheel to wheel, but in an hour's time they might be for the race victory. But it's quite hard sometimes for Ballon maybe to, obviously he understands he's losing time, but to understand the context of that, it's quite hard, I'd imagine, when you're in the car, in the heat of battle, to really truly wrap your head around that.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. What happened to him here a year ago? He tripped over a car. It's probably scarred him. He's probably more cautious than he used to be, and we're seeing a lot of caution from Adam. And so there'll be a bit of him that Loggy should pull over. He should. He's not in the fight with him, but when have you ever seen a race driver pull over? Doesn't matter if it's position or not. And so it'll be interesting to pan out. Just watching Ollie here. Ollie will be determined to stay ahead of Baldwin. Baldwin is a gamer. Well, actually, he's not a gamer. He actually has some racing before and then went gaming. I think that's very important to say as a race driver. Gamers are good, but race drivers are better. And here he is now, under pressure from this guy who's the world's fastest gamer. And Ollie wants a factory contact, but this guy we're watching now, surely he's destined for great things. He's racing with Jenson Button. I think people know of that guy. He's got a little bit of influence, and maybe a little bit of influence with McLaren, maybe. And so, right there in your mirrors is your future. Are you going to get a job or not? Well, I better race the bloke, right?
That Jenson bloke won a world championship or something, didn't he?
I think so.
Pretty handy driver, but so too is James Baldwin, and he is applying the pressure now to Ollie Wilkinson. So as we've said, this is not for position. Wilkinson is the leader, but he's done one less pit stop than the number 2 car, and we know a pit stop loses you around a lap or so total. So this is still a significant battle to be had, and any time that Baldwin loses stuck behind the Optimum McLaren is genuine time loss that could play into Optimum's hands afterwards, especially considering they don't have a success penalty, whereas the Jenson Team Rocket RJN car, the number 2 machine, does. That's put a lap on the Speedworks car, by the way, which we haven't really mentioned much. The number 23 Toyota, James Kell, running 5th in GT4 at the moment. They've made 2 pit stops, so they have 1 more pit stop to complete, and that Toyota has, well, I was about to say, the next car behind them is the number 57 championship leading HHC car, except it won't be, because that car has just been given a drive-through penalty. Is
You've
this not
done it again.
Is this not the second penalty as well that car's had? Because
I think you're right.
57, yeah, they've already made 3 stops. They had a stop go for a short pit stop, and now a drive-through. So what could a drive-through be? Track limits or some other driving standards problem?
Well, yeah, and the trouble is we don't know, do we? But it's devastating for them. This will be the championship. I mean, they won't have the lead by the time this race is finished. And you and I are destroying careers with everyone we talk about. It's from here we have the Lamborghini back in the pits. Rob Collard is in. I assume he's now finished his minimum driving stint. Is it now Mitchell to the end? It must be touch and go.
Yes, because, well, so there's 65 minutes to go. And he definitely didn't do 35 minutes in his first stint, did he? So I think they've worked it out. He's just within the window now to get to the end. This, therefore, is their final.